something which we have read out. Okay, which we have read of, like what is a bank, what are the various types of the bank. See, we have a various classification that are being given, and it is not specified, okay, what exactly you have to do. So what I have done is I have find out the main like the types of the banks which we have covered. Like I have covered what is a commercial bank and what is the, you can say, the main, the central bank, the role of that, and then what are the various functions. Then coming on to, there are various types of the bank, like private sector bank, foreign banks, public sector bank. Although for discussion I have included a smaller version, but once I give you a PDF, I'll include all the things into it so that you will have a clear idea. So it will be related to that only, and then there are some new things that are being introduced, like mudra and all those things. Okay, so we have covered about the functions of the bank, then the RBI, commercial bank, private sector. Now today I'll discuss like what are the various types of the credit which are being provided by any commercial bank. Okay, so the coming on to the various types of the credit, just a second bache, just a second. Various types of credit. See, we all know, like the main function of a bank, if you look into it, what is the main function of a bank? If any one of you can tell me, like the main function for which a bank is being set up is only one thing, that the main function of a bank is to accept the deposit and provide you with the various loans, or you can say advances. So the types of the loans can be different because we have different requirements. See, if you want, you have look into something, okay, you are being a student, then you require a loan for some education purpose. Suppose you want to go for a higher education and you require loan for that, then your requirement is different. Me being a working professional, suppose I want to go for something, I want to purchase a car or a home, so my requirement is different. Same way, according to the different requirements, there are various types of the loans which are being provided by the bank. So these are the various credit, you can say, which are being offered by bank. The first one, that is, there is a bank loan. So all of us know, like what are the bank loans. So what is a bank loan? If you can look into it, it is a, like the amount which is guaranteed to you by the bank. So to who can, you can say, have a bank loan, or who can avail the facility of a bank loan? The one who have the account with the bank and the bank know about their creditability and all. So to have the bank loan, you should have a primary account, or you can say the account with the bank, so that you are being provided with the bank loan. So once you they are providing you with a bank loan, what they ask for, they ask for some sort of a security. Then they check the account of the person, like what are the creditability of that person, so that they can know what is exactly the monthly income that the person is earning, or like what are the sources from where he is earning, and what are the minimum balance which is being kept in your account. So various things are being taken into consideration, and after that you are being provided with the bank loans. So like as I told you, like there are various types of the needs. The needs differ from person to person. Suppose you have an educational need, my need may be a car or a personal loan or a home loan, so these differ accordingly. So once we are provided with the, what are the advantages of a bank loan? So like you are provided with a loan at a very low rate. If you go and if you have to take a loan from any other institute, like any other institute, like that is not recognized one, or you can say if you go and ask some of your friend or a relative, then obviously the interest charged will be obviously higher. So the loan that is being provided by the bank, we have a, you can say, the we can compare obviously with the various banks, and the one which is providing us with the loan at a lower rate, we can go for it. So that provide us with a low rate interest. Then it involves very simple process, so you don't need to go into a very lengthy procedure and all that. So the providing loan these days, these times, is very easy. That's why if you look into the scenario, buying a home, or you can say purchasing a home, is comparatively very easy, rather than if you look into the post 2000 scenario. Earlier the persons have a thinking, okay, if I have to go for a loan, it will be a concern for me. But now these things, the loans are so easy to take into to have the loan facilities, so they have become very easy. Then require minimum documentation and legal formalities. Obviously, if you have a bank account with that bank and the bank knows about your creditability and all, so it becomes less formalities are being required when a loan is being passed, because they know like what is the company in which you are working, what is your creditability, and what are the sources from where you earn your income, and then like how the account is being maintained, what is the minimum balance, what is the dependencies. So because bank already know about the customer, so it doesn't take much time to give you a loan. Then it involves good customer relationship management. Obviously, if you are going for you can say a loan, then the customer relationship management here means that the banks provide the loan on the basis of the dealings they have with you. Then that consumes less time because of modern techniques and computerization. So that is the same thing, like nowadays it's become, as I told you, it's become very easy to go and have the availability as well as to avail those facilities. It become very easy. Then apart from these, the bank loan offers suffer from various limitation. Obviously there are certain limitation. It involves high penalty and legal action. See, although they are providing you with the loan facility which is available at a low interest rate, but if you default, then it will be not only that the interest which you have to pay, that they also charge you with the penalty for that. Then is charges the higher rate of interest if the party fails to pay the loan amount in the allotted time. So it's the same way, like the higher interest is being charged on the times of the penalty. The penalty here means on the amount of defaults which you are making. If you are making defaults on your payment, then the bank will increase the interest rate so that you are being penalized for the failure on your part. And then it adds extra burden on the borrower who needs to incur cost in preparing legal documents. So it is something like they are telling you like there are some formality for which a bank person have to go for these facilities. Then the other facilities from where you can purchase, you can have the loans with you is a cash credit. So the cash credit is basically an arrangement by the bank for the client to withdraw the cash exceeding the account limit. Like you have certain limit, and if you have to purchase, if you have to go for the more than that amount, then the cash credit facility is being provided by the bank. Okay, so this is the cash credit. Just a second. Yeah. Okay. So the cash credit facility is generally sanctioned for 1 year, but it may extend up to 3 years in some cases. So it is basically like how long it is required. So cash credit is basically provided to you for meeting your working capital requirements. Okay. So this is a loan which is being provided, and the interest rate is very low as compared to, if you can see, is to the overdraft. So it is basically, you can say, you are being giving a hypothecation of your stocks and inventory. Okay, you can give something as a security, and then you are provided with the cash credit. So the advantages here involves like very less time in the approval of credit. So the same way, because the bank knows about your creditability and have a dealing with you, so the approval is very less time taking and very less time consuming. Then it involves flexibility, as the cash credit can be extended for more to fulfill the need of the customer. It involves flexibility and can be extended for a time to fulfill the need of the customer. Like it varies from person to person, like how long a person requires that loan, and accordingly it can be customized for you. Then it helpful in meeting the current liabilities. As I told you, that the cash credit basically is taken up for minimum like 1 year. Okay, so it is basically that the person can have this facility for meeting their working capital requirement. So what are the various limitations if we look into it? It requires more security, because whenever you have to go for the cash credit, I told you that you need to hypothecation of you can stock and inventory is being required. Okay, then it involves very high rate of interest. The interest rate that is being charged on the cash credit is more than the bank loan. Okay, then comes the overdraft facility. So it is the overdraft facilities basically provided to the, you can see, the person or the businessman. Okay, basically it is being provided to the businessman. So the overdraft is that like for the person who have the current account with the bank. So the client generally have the bank overdraft facilities so that their business doesn't get hampered with the this cash crunch. Okay, if you look into something like, अगर कैसे आप देखते हो बेटा, कैसे बैंक में क्या रहता है, अगर जो बहुत सारे बिजनेसमैन रहते हैं उनका डीलिंग हमेशा कैश में रहे, ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं होता. समटाइम इट इज लाइक कि उनका कैश अवेलेबल उनको बाद में होता है, एंड दे हैव टू पे समबडी eager, I mean, they have to pay somebody. So what they go for, the bank provide them an overdraft facility so that their business transaction are not hampered. So that is the bank overdraft facilities. So the bank overdraft facilities have the, like you can say the features here are like no documentation. Okay, because you have the current account with the bank, so no documentation. It is basically a, you can say, a sanctioning of some sort of a facility where bank sanction you, okay, you are being credit, you can avail the bank overdraft facilities. So the interest rate is very nominal. And the main disadvantages, if you come over here, is it incurs the cost for the client if they fail to pay the amount. Obviously, if you fail to pay anything, you have availed some loan or a cash credit or an overdraft facility, but if you fail to pay that amount, then obviously it will be charged as a penalty for you, because the bank will have to recover the amount from you. So obviously they will charge a penalty, otherwise it will be a burden for the bank only. Then it allows the bank to deduct overdraft amount from the customer account without their permission. Okay, if you are not able to pay, then they can withdraw that from your account. Then the other facilities which is being provided as a loan to you is discounting of a bill. It is a very important feature. Like discounting of a bill here means like bill of exchange. Okay, so a bill of exchange is what? It is basically an unconditional order in which in given in a writing by one person to another, like why requiring the person to whom it is addressed to pay the amount, either it is in full amount or it is, or you can say, or on demand. Okay, so that is the bill of exchange. So the facility is being provided. Okay, तो क्या रहता है आपके बिहाफ पे बैंक वो आपका बिल ऑफ एक्सचेंज प्रोवाइड करता है. तो अभी उसमें आपको क्या मिलेगा, दैट यू विल बी इंटेंडेड टू अ स्पेसिफिक पर्पसेस, लाइक दे आर बीइंग इंटेंडेड टू स्पेसिफिक पर्पस, लाइक यू मे आस्क, ओके, फॉर this business deal I want you to provide me with this facility. Okay, then it must be less than the face value and it must be produced before the maturity period. So these are like the various types of the conditions which are being laid down by the BAL for discounting the bill. Like each and every when our bill of exchange is being discounted, so the terms and condition are being finalized at the time of the you can say when you are entering into the contract only. Then is the scheduled bank. So as I told you, there are types of the bank. The first we have read about like the private bank, public sector banks, foreign banks. Then we have read of commercial banks. And the main is a central bank. Now we read about like what is a scheduled bank. So the scheduled bank in India constitute those banks which have been included in the second schedule of RBI. RBI have provided with the schedule. Okay. And all the banks which cover under this are known as the scheduled bank. So this comes into existence after, you can say, the act was being passed in 1934. So all the banks which fulfill those requirements, I'll tell you what are the requirements, they come under the consideration of the scheduled bank. So here, what is the requirement? That the bank paid up and raised up funds must be at least 5 lakh to qualify as a scheduled bank. Like if a bank have to enter into a scheduled bank category, so the cash, you can say the capital should be minimum 5 lakh. Okay, then only it is being considered as a scheduled bank. So scheduled bank are liable for a low interest rate loan from RBI because they have come into, you can say, under the second schedule. So what is being given them as a low interest loan from the RBI? Like whenever they can go for the loans from the RBI, they will have at a lower interest rate. So all the commercial banks, whichever are in India, like private bank, foreign banks, private sector bank, public sector bank, they come under the scheduled banks only. Okay, अगर उसमें आने के लिए बेटा उनका क्राइटेरिया क्या रहता है कि एक तो उनका पेड अप कैपिटल और जो रिजर्व्स होते हैं वो नॉट लेस देन 5 लाख हो, मतलब उससे ज्यादा होने चाहिए. दूसरा, उनको आरबीआई को बेटा ये सेटिस्फाई करना होता है दैट दे आर देयर अफेयर्स आर कैरिड आउट इन द इंटरेस्ट ऑफ द depositors, that they are not earning profits out of their transaction and all the things are being carried under the norms of the banking regulation act only. Then the scheduled banks have to they have to maintain CRR and SLR as they are being mentioned by the रिजर्व बैंक. तो ये जो रिक्वायरमेंट फुलफिल करता है बेटा वो सब आते हैं हमारे शेड्यूल्ड बैंक के अंडर. तो शेड्यूल्ड बैंक एक्ट कब आया था? 1935 1934 में, सॉरी। तो नॉन शेड्यूल्ड बैंक, जो भी बैंक शेड्यूल्ड बैंक की कैटेगरी में नहीं आते उनको हम नॉन शेड्यूल्ड बैंक कहते हैं, ठीक है। ऑलमोस्ट सभी बैंक जो हमारे पब्लिक हैं, प्राइवेट हैं, फॉरेन बैंक है, इसके अंडर आते हैं। हार्डली 3 या 4 बैंक है जो नॉन शेड्यूल्ड बैंक की कैटेगरी में आते हैं। Okay, so what all you have to see that what are the RBI allows a scheduled bank to raise debt and loan at a bank rate. So the all commercial bank, which banks? Nationalized, international cooperative, regional rural banks, public sector bank, SBI, all these comes under the scheduled bank. So the benefits which are being allowed by the scheduled bank are like, उनको क्या privilege या benefit मिलते हैं? The ability to obtain a refinancing facility from the central bank. अगर कभी भी उनके फाइनेंसेस कम होते हैं तो वो अपने आप को रीफाइनेंस करा सकते हैं, किससे? सेंट्रल बैंक से, ठीक है। दूसरा क्या है? एक्सेस टू करेंसी स्टोरेज फैसिलिटीज, ठीक है। करेंसी स्टोरेज फैसिलिटी भी उनको प्रोवाइड की जाती है। एंड मेंबरशिप इन द क्लियरिंग हाउसेस ऑटोमेटिक। तो ये प्रिविलेज होती हैं। और रिक्वायरमेंट क्या होती है वो मैंने आपको पहले बता दी, ठीक है। सो दीज बैंक्स व्हिच कम अंडर दीज कैटेगरीज आर नोन एज द शेड्यूल्ड बैंक। Now, coming on to the same next one, that is the cooperative bank. So, what is a cooperative bank? So, the cooperative banks अभी हमने बहुत सारे देखते हो ना बेटा, cooperative banks अभी आपको भी पता है, अभी लोकल में आपने बहुत सारे cooperative banks देखे होंगे या नहीं पता आपको? Tell me. cooperative banking पता है बेटा?
Yes, ma'am.
ठीक है ना। तो cooperative banking क्या रहता है बेटा? जिसमें क्या रहता है, मेंबर्स एक साथ इकट्ठे होके एक बैंक एस्टेब्लिश करते हैं, दैट इज नोन एज द कोऑपरेटिव बैंक। तो ओनर्स जो होते हैं वो ही उसके कस्टमर्स होते हैं उस बैंक में। सो द कोऑपरेटिव बैंक इज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन एस्टैब्लिशमेंट ऑन द कोऑपरेटिव बेसिस, दैट मींस दे कोऑपरेट एंड दे पूल अप देयर फंड्स एंड प्रिपेयर वन अकाउंट, they have one a bank established, okay. And dealing in the ordinary banking business, like other business, cooperative banks are founded by, how they are being founded? By collecting fund through shares, accepting deposit and grant loans. बाकी बैंक्स जो है बेटा वो सब आरबीआई के अंडर आए। इसमें क्या हुआ, लोगों के थ्रू ये बैंक मेंटेन होता है, लोग बनाते हैं इस फंड को, ठीक है। तो जो मेंबर ऑफ कम्युनिटी बैंड टुगेदर टू एक्सटेंड लोन्स टू ईच अदर, ठीक है, वो सब एक साथ आते हैं ताकि जब भी किसी की रिक्वायरमेंट हो उसको लोन प्रोवाइड किया जा सके, ठीक है। अगर आप कोऑपरेटिव बैंकिंग को देखो तो ये क्या था, एस्टैब्लिश क्यों किया गया था? इट वॉज बीइंग एस्टैब्लिश्ड सो दैट क्या रहेगा, सेल्फ हेल्प कॉर्पोरेशन ग्रुप्स। कैसे रहता है कि हर चीज के लिए लोग पहले बैंक के पास नहीं जा सकते ना छोटे एरिया में, तो वो क्या करते थे, सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप के उसके लिए वो क्या करते थे, आपस में बहुत सारे लोग मेंटेन कर लेते थे कोऑपरेटिव बैंक करके, ठीक है। वो कैसे, एग्रीकल्चर, जो एग्रीकल्चर से रिलेटेड थे, या आर्टिशंस, या जो छोटे छोटे लोग थे जिनके पास छोटा कोई ऐसा फैसिलिटी नहीं था, उनको लगता था बैंक से लेने से अच्छा हम लोग आपस में कोऑपरेटिव बैंक करके लेते हैं, तो वो उनके बेसिस पे रहता था। And these banks basically, if you ask for, they work on non-profit or no loss principle, ठीक है। उनका सेम रहता है, क्या प्रॉफिट नहीं लेना है ना लॉस। उनको कैसे रहता है कि सभी लोग पूल करते हैं फंड्स, जब जिसको रिक्वायरमेंट है वो वहां से फंड्स ले सकता है, ठीक है। सो दे प्रोवाइड बेसिकली वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ, यू कैन से, बैंकिंग और फाइनेंशियल सर्विसेज। कैसे, उसकी भी वही सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड होती है जो बाकी बैंक्स की रहती है। कैसे, लोन, डिपॉजिट, बैंकिंग अकाउंट्स, ये सब फैसिलिटीज वो भी प्रोवाइड करता है जो आपको नॉर्मल बैंकिंग में रहता है। तो बहुत तरह की यू कैन से बैंक्स के लिए, ये किसके लिए रहता है, जैसे एग्रीकल्चर रिलेटेड प्रोडक्ट के लिए रहेगा, या जनरली फाइनेंस एग्रीकल्चर से। तो फर्स्ट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक, इफ समबडी आस्क्स यू, इज लाइक बीइंग एस्टैब्लिश्ड इन द ईयर 1889, okay, that was Anoya Shakadi Mandali, although I have mentioned in the PDF also, so you can check it into this, ठीक है। So the cooperative banks का बेटा क्या रहता है, बैंक इशू शेयर्स ऑफ अनलिमिटेड लायबिलिटी, लायबिलिटी जो रहती है इसमें अनलिमिटेड रहती है। एंड इन अ कोऑपरेटिव बैंक वन शेयर होल्डर हैज वन वोट वेदर द नंबर ऑफ शेयर में बी होल्ड। अगर आप एक शेयर होल्डर हो, आपके पास 10 शेयर है, तब भी आपके पास एक ही वोट है। अगर आपके पास 100 शेयर्स हैं, तब भी आपकी वोटिंग के लिए वोट आपको एक ही मिलेगी, ठीक है। Then cooperative banks are generally considered with the rural credit and provide financial institution for agriculture and rural. पहले कैसे, मैंने बताया ना बेटा, कैसे पहले रूरल सेक्टर्स इतने डेवलप नहीं थे, तो उसमें क्या लगता था, उनको लगता था बैंक को जाने के लिए वहां पे जाके पूछने से अच्छा है तो वो लोकल में देखते थे। एंड दीज कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स वर वेरी इजीली अवेलेबल टू देम एंड दे वर वेरी you can say, तो वो वहां से बेटा वो लोन ले लेते थे. तो that is the main feature of these cooperative banks. They were being established for the rural as well as for the agriculture sectors only. So they provide limited banking products and are specialized in agriculture related products. Clear? Then the primary function is agriculture activity. So they work on non-profit basis, as I told you. The first bank that was being set up is Anoyana Cooperative Bank, where it was being established in Vadodara in Gujarat. That was being established in the year 1889. So as you have learned that what is this, so एक आपको बेटा इसमें ये देखना है एडवांटेजेस. तो ठीक है, अभी कैसे है, द मेन एडवांटेज वाज लाइक दे प्रोवाइड यू विद द फैसिलिटीज ऑफ द बैंक्स. Basically they provide you with a loan facility for the smaller sectors like for agriculture, rural sector. So they provide you with that. Then they make their members financially more secure. Obviously when you have easily available loan with you, then you become more secure with that. And the cooperative bank instill among their member a strong feeling of responsibility for promote payment of interest and repayment, because they are the one who are the members of those group. And when they are with, whenever they are having the loan from those institutes where they are being the members, तो उनको ये रहता है कि मेरा ही तो बैंक है. और वो उनको कैसे रहता है कि रीपेमेंट के लिए भी बार बार रिमाइंडर नहीं देना पड़ता, बिकॉज सिंस दे आर अ पार्ट ऑफ दैट ग्रुप, देन दे ऑब्वियसली provide, they are ready to repay the loan whenever they feel they have the funds with them. Then the cooperative may have lower administrative cost on account of voluntary services. ठीक है, अभी इसमें कैसे है, मेंटेनेंस बहुत लो रहता है. And ये cooperative like money lender can possess intimate knowledge of the character and financial position of the members and local production, because since this is something which is being established in the area from where they have persons are coming to have the loan facilities, तो उसी एरिया में तो उनको लोकल रिक्वायरमेंट समझ में आती है, किस टाइम पे किसको कितना फंड चाहिए, कैसे चाहिए, तो उनको लोकल रिक्वायरमेंट समझ में आती है. एग्रीकल्चर का है तो समझ में आएगा इस टाइम में पीक में रहता है, इस टाइम में लोग लोन ज्यादा लेते हैं और किस टाइप का लोन लेते हैं, तो वो लोकल जो रिक्वायरमेंट होती है उसको easily meet कर सकते हैं cooperative banks, because they are something which are being established in that area only. Then the procedure of deposit and withdrawal of cooperative credit is far less complicated, since personal identification and such other problem doesn't exist. As I told you, there many people who are taking the loan are the part of that group, so उनका इतना वो problem नहीं रहता, because already creditability is known to the banks. So the structure of cooperative banks include like agriculture, and second is the non-agriculture. Mainly it was focused on the agriculture only. And in further agriculture, we divide it into short term as well as the long term. Short term में बेटा क्या रहता है, एक रहता है आपका स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव, फिर रहता है सेंट्रल कोऑपरेटिव, एंड द थर्ड वन इज द प्राइमरी एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट सोसाइटी. तो जो एपेक्स जिसे बोलते हैं, सेंटर क्या है आपका स्टेट, उसके बाद आएगा डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल और विलेज लेवल पे आपका क्या रहता है, प्राइमरी एग्रीकल्चर क्रेडिट सोसाइटीज. ठीक है, तो ये इस तरह से इसको हम डिविजन करते हैं. दिस इज नोन एज द कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स और द कोऑपरेटिव इंस्टीट्यूट्स. Then the next that is there is the regional rural banks. So regional rural banks के लिए बेटा क्या रहता है, just a second, regional rural bank, okay fine, excuse me, okay. So the Narsimhan Committee on Rural Credit recommended the establishment of regional rural banks on the ground that they would be much better than the commercial bank or cooperative bank in meeting the needs of the rural areas. पहले कैसे था बेटा, इतना ज्यादा रूरल एरियाज पे फोकस नहीं किया गया था. एक बार फिर नरसिम्हन कमेटी जब सेटअप हुआ था, नरसिम्हन कमेटी ने रिकमेंडेशन दिया था दैट इट इज कंपल्सरी, और यू कैन से दे हैव गिवन द रिकमेंडेशन दैट इट वुड बी वेरी बेनिफिशियल इफ वी सेट अप सम सॉर्ट ऑफ banks which are being focused on the rural sector only and in the regional areas. So these banks come into consideration, these banks come into existence. These are known as the regional rural bank. So they combine the local feel and familiarity with the rural problems, because they are something which are being established in those rural areas. तो उनको पता रहता है और वो familiar रहते हैं वहां की problems के साथ. So on the Narsimhan Committee ने जब recommendation दी थी, उसके बाद 1976 में गवर्नमेंट ने पास किया था रूरल एक्ट 1976, and after that rural banks were set up in 1975. Okay, उनका main objective था to ensure sufficient institutional credit for agriculture and other rural sector. रूरल में मेन हमारा एग्रीकल्चर रहता है, बट उसके साथ में बहुत सारी चीजें और भी रहती हैं. अभी कैसे रहता है बेटा, वहां पे छोटे शॉपकीपर्स रहते हैं, दोज पीपल डोंट हैव दोज फैसिलिटीज अवेलेबल विद देम लाइक द क्रेडिट एंड ये सब. तो उसके लिए ये बैंक सेटअप किए गए थे जो सिर्फ और सिर्फ रूरल एरियाज पे ध्यान देंगे. सो द मेन ऑब्जेक्टिव वाज टू प्रोवाइड द क्रेडिट टू द स्मॉल फार्मर्स, एग्रीकल्चर लेबर, आर्टिशन एंड स्मॉल एंटरप्रेन्योर्स, जो छोटे छोटे बिजनेस बेटा यहाँ पे इसमें होते हैं ना विलेजेस में, उसके लिए एस्टैब्लिश किया गया था. देन इज टू डेवलप एग्रीकल्चर इंडस्ट्री एंड other productive activities in the rural area. So the main focus of these factors were only to promote the regional growth, or you can say the regional rural growth, so that they can meet the economic development of the country. They help to achieve the economic development. So the first RBI was established where? At Moradabad and Gorakhpur in UP. Okay, so in the year 75. So these banks were sponsored by whom? State Bank, Punjab National Bank, United Bank, Syndicate Bank. So these are the basically the sponsors of these banks. And the rule, the main role was to accept the deposits. The same role was there as was the role of the other commercial bank. But only difference that is there is like they are being focused on the rural sector, whereas the commercial sector, commercial banks are being focused on all the sectors. Okay, but the rural banks are being focused on the rural sectors only. So they accept the deposit and grant you the advances. They provide ancillary banking services. Like the banking service, ancillary banking services mean that apart from the banking services, main banking service क्या होती है आपकी? डिपॉजिट लेना और एडवांस देना. उसके अलावा भी बहुत सर्विसेज के लिए वो प्रोवाइड करते हैं, जैसे टेक्नोलॉजी की अपग्रेडेशन, उसके लिए अगर किसी को नॉलेज के लिए कुछ ट्रेनिंग चाहिए, उसके लिए भी वो लोन प्रोवाइड करते थे. देन दे सप्लाई एंड इक्विपमेंट टू द फार्मर्स. ठीक है, अभी ऐसे इक्विपमेंट्स जैसे अभी मॉडर्न अभी ट्रैक्टर लेना है, ये सब के लिए भी बहुत सारे लोग लोन के लिए अप्लाई करते हैं. देन दे प्रोवाइड असिस्टेंस इन द मार्केटिंग ऑफ देयर प्रोडक्ट. सो दीज आर द वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ द लोन्स व्हिच आर बीइंग प्रोवाइडेड बाय द रीजनल रूरल बैंक्स. Then comes the problems which are being faced by the regional rural banks. So the first is the speedy and the lack of coordination in branch expansion. Then is difficulty in deposit mobilization, slow progress in lending, and the urban orientation to the staff. See, whenever, although these are being written, okay, these are the, like you can say, the drawbacks or the limitation, but now with the growth and more innovative techniques are being introduced, so these you can say the limitation are being covered up to a large extent. So these are the various rules for which the regional rural banks are being set up. Now the next that is there is a specialized bank. So the specialized bank here means that are being set up for a certain purpose. Okay, अभी कैसे रहते हैं, अभी सोसाइटी में बेटा बहुत सारे पर्पस रहते हैं. कोई एग्रीकल्चर के लिए है, कोई डेवलपमेंट के लिए है, कोई एक्सपोर्ट के लिए है. देन देयर आर सम बैंक्स व्हिच आर बीइंग एस्टैब्लिश्ड फॉर, यू कैन से, loans provide for the these exports. So these are the sector, these are known as the specialized bank. So the first one that is there is the Export and Import Bank of India. So the Export and Import Bank of India is also known as the Exim Bank. ठीक है, अभी ये किस लिए था? It is a premier export finance institution of the country. Whenever a person is into the export and import trade of import में काम करता है, तो वो अगर उसको लोन या किसी चीज की फैसिलिटी की जरूरत रहती है, the one institute they look on for is the Exim Bank. So it started its operations in year, you can say, 1982 under the act. So it was formed under the act, which act? Export Import Bank of India Act, which was being established in 81. तो उसके बाद ये setup हुआ था Exim Bank. So why it was being established? Because government want to focus more and more on the foreign currency, or you can say the they want to give the opportunity to the exporters as well as the importer for the growth of their foreign trade and investment. So that is why, to make that thing happen that is related to the foreign trade growth and the investment, and so that there can be overall economic growth. So when these sectors are growing, so obviously the economic growth will be there. So the bank focus on that, and this purpose, this Exim Bank was being established. So the Exim Bank has, you can say, a main institution which play a very prominent role in the export and import sectors. Okay, so coming on, the main function is to provide financial and other assistance to importer and exporters, and it oversees and coordinate the working of other institute that work in the export import sector. और सारे जो भी वहाँ पे रहते हैं institutes जो provide करते हैं उनको help, ये उनको भी loan provide करता है. Then is the management is done by board headed by MD. Basically there are 17 members और उनका paid up capital होता है 100 crore. Okay, and this is being subscribed by the government, central government ही इसको subscribe करती है. So what is the main function? To finance import and export of goods and services. ताकि अगर आप import या export के business में हो, अगर आपको किसी provide का loan चाहिए, then it is easily available to you. Then it also lead to, like, it finance the import and export of machinery. As I told you, import and export doesn't mean the providing the loan for that. अगर आपको बाहर से कुछ मशीनरी लेनी है, आपको कुछ फैसिलिटी, कोई नई टेक्नोलॉजी बाहर से लेनी है, उसके लिए भी बेटा आपको प्रोवाइड करता है लोन. देन इट प्रोवाइड रीफाइनेंसिस सर्विसेज टू बैंक फॉर द फाइनेंसिंग ऑफ फॉरेन ट्रेड. ठीक है, अदर बैंक्स को भी लोन प्रोवाइड करता है रीफाइनेंसिंग के लिए. एक्सिम बैंक ऑल्सो प्रोवाइड फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस टू बिजनेस joining a joint venture in a foreign country. अगर कुछ भी आपको फाइनेंशियल असिस्टेंस चाहिए, अगर आप एक जॉइंट वेंचर सेटअप कर रहे हो, सपोज आई एम अ पर्सन who is having a business in Mumbai, then I want to get into a joint venture with the Germany company, so the financial assistance whichever is being required to me will be taken care by the Exim Bank. So it provides various type of technical and other assistance to importer and exporter. Nowadays you can say you can't have if you want to go for some technology development, there are various MNCs which are being established in India. तो ऐसा नहीं है ना कि वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ जो establishment आपकी technology यहाँ पे है वो ले रहे हैं, नहीं, they are making the use of the technology that is widespread. So to make those use of those technology, they require funds. So for those providing them with those financial assistance also come under the consideration of the Exim Banks only. Then is undertake the functions of a merchant bank for the importer or the exporter in the transaction of a foreign trade. Then they also do the same function, like they underwrite the share debentures of the company, and they will offer short-term loans for the other things. Okay, so this is like the main thing that is being taken care by the Exim Bank. So coming on to the importers of the bank, Exim Bank is the main function. If somebody asks you, it's basically to provide you with the import and export financial assistance, and they provide you the quality standard. Because if you have in the crunch of a money, you don't have that money with you, available with you, then what will happen? You will not be able to hire that, you will not be able to use the technology that is upgraded or the one which you require. So they provide you with the quality standard, because they are providing you with the loan facilities so that you can have you can use those technologies and can develop accordingly. So this is the main role of the Exim Bank. Then the next, that is, there is a SIDBI. So what is SIDBI? It is basically established for the small industries development. Okay, so the name itself describes the Small Industry Development Bank of India and its function. Okay, so what are the Small Industry Development of Bank of India? So it is the development bank which is established in the year 1990. Okay, it comes under the after the special act of parliament. So this bank has come into existence, that is known as the Small Industrial Development Bank, and it is wholly owned by, or you can say only on subsidiary of IDBI. पहले इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट बैंक का ही काम था बेटा इंडस्ट्री को डेवलप करना, but when they saw, okay, with the growth of this small industry, they found that, okay, we have to set up some other institute which can take care of only and only small sectors, industries. So this bank were being established, that is known as the Small Industrial Development Bank of India. So SIDBI was, you can say, the primary function, principal function of this was to promote or to finance those small मीडियम, स्मॉल और यू कैन से माइक्रो सेक्टर, ठीक है, कितने भी ये छोटे छोटे सेक्टर्स थे उनकी ग्रोथ के लिए एस्टैब्लिश किया गया था, so that there should be a coordination of functions of institution. Okay, so the main functions that were being there, the SIDBI was responsible for administering small industry development fund and national equity fund that were administered by IDBI before. पहले IDBI देखता था, अभी ये कौन देखता है, SIDBI देखता है, ताकि क्या कर सके, वो फाइनेंस कर सके और डेवलप कर सके किसको, माइक्रो, स्मॉल एंड मीडियम एंटरप्राइज। मीडियम एंटरप्राइज भी इसके अंडर ही आती है, ये तीनों चीजों को ग्रोथ के लिए। सो सिडबी हेल्प्स इन MSME मींस माइक्रो, स्मॉल एंड मीडियम एंटरप्राइजेस इन एक्वायरिंग द फंड दे रिक्वायर्ड टू ग्रो मार्केट। अभी कैसे रहता है बेटा, पहले कैसे था, स्मॉल इंडस्ट्रीज के लिए इतना नहीं था, अभी उनके लिए भी स्कोप बहुत ज्यादा है, बहुत सारी बैंक की फैसिलिटीज भी बैंक प्रोवाइड करता है। And apart from that, they are also provided with the various types of the technology upgradation. So the loans are being easily available to them. तो उसके अलावा क्या है, अगर उनको कुछ नया प्रोडक्ट सेटअप करना है भी तो उसके लिए सभी तरह के लोन SIDBI प्रोवाइड करता है। So coming on to the functions of SIDBI, the first is they refinance the loans that are being established whether to the small scale industry unit and also resource assistance. See, the main thing is they provide the loans to the micro, small and medium enterprise. They discount and rediscount the bills so that they can help them with these facilities. Then they provide with the marketing channel for the products both in domestic as well. Like they help in whatsoever way they can help the small medium sectors. Okay, either it is related to the marketing, either it is related to the technology, either relating to the discounting of the bill, or you can say other facilities, like it may be factoring, leasing, or it may be like generating something which can help them. Okay, so it promote employment opportunities industry, particularly in semi-urban areas for creating employment. So whenever a small sector come into existence in some particular rural areas or semi-urban areas, so what will happen? It will obviously lead to the employment generation. So they provide you with the various types of the loans, as well as they provide you various types of the schemes so that you can basically lead to the economic growth only. Okay, so the main functions here is like providing them with the loans as well as the various types of the technology upgradation. Then is to provide the timely flow of credit for working capital as well as term loans. So they provide you with a loan even if you require it for working capital or for the small scale. So it promotes state level venture fund. So these are the various functions for which these funds are being established. Then the next that is there is the NABARD. So the NABARD, what does it mean, NABARD? NABARD means the sector which is being the national bank which is being established for agriculture as well as the rural development. So this is the name which is being established, that is the NABARD. So this was being established in the year 1982 and it was also passed by the act of the parliament, and after this bank come into existence, that is known as the NABARD. So NABARD का main function था बेटा इसका कि सेंट्रल इंस्टीट्यूशन फॉर फाइनेंसिंग एग्रीकल्चर एंड द रूरल सेक्टर, दोनों की ग्रोथ के लिए ये एस्टैब्लिश किया था। अभी इसमें क्या रहता था, एक प्रोवाइड शॉर्ट एज वेल एज द लॉन्ग टर्म क्रेडिट थ्रू रीजनल रूरल बैंक्स. So national NABARD works, you can say it is a development bank that aims to promote and regulate the credit in the rural areas. ठीक है, एक तो बेटा वो उनको प्रोवाइड करता था, रेगुलेट कैसे करता था, रेगुलेट मींस व्हाटसोएवर दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग दे कीप अ चेक ऑन लाइक वेदर इट इज यूज्ड फॉर द पर्पस for which the loan is being granted, so they keep a check on it. So the NABARD works in the promotion and development of agriculture, small scale industry, cottage industry. So whatsoever industry which are being coming into the scope of this, they are taken care by the NABARD. So the bank works with matter concerning the planning, execution of agriculture facilities and other rural economic activity. So the main aim, if we look into, is this was to to promote, or you can say to look into the take care of all the rural credit needs so that the rural sector can grow. So NABARD is a specific bank, you can say, for agriculture as well as for the rural development. So it provides you with the various types of the loan, like short-term and credit or long-term loan through regional rural banks. So it helps them. Okay, so formation of NABARD as I told you, it was being established in 82 by the Parliament Act that come into existence. Then is the role of NABARD. So NABARD facilitates rural prosperity by refinancing and promoting institutional development. See, whenever they are providing you with a loan for anything that is related to the industry, if they provide you with a NABARD, suppose any bank provide you with any facility, any loan for a industry development or any institution development in that rural sector, so obviously it will lead to the growth of that sector, because it will obviously, whenever some institute come into it will lead to the employment generation, it will lead to the economy, it will lead to the income generation. So that sector will obviously grow, and that rural sector will grow. And then bank work as an evaluator and inspector for the client banks. So it keeps a check, as I told you, they keep and check on what are the various types of the loan which are being credited, either they are being used for the purpose specifically that is for being, they are being drafted. And it also acts as a coordinator in the operations of the rural credit institutions. So they act as a, you can say, coordinator, like they act as a link between them. Then the bank moves in the direction of rural development. So it helps, you can say, the center, RBI, rural banks and other banks. Okay, so NABARD basically helps the training and the research facilities for banks and cooperative organization working in the rural development sector. So the main purpose was to develop the rural sectors. And then the institution helps the self-help groups through self-help group bank linkage program. Self-help group, anyone of you know what is a self-help group? See, self-help group are like the group of a people when come into you can say collaboration with each other. तो वो कैसे रहता है, तो वो आपस में बेटा एक दूसरे की अगर फैसिलिटीज के लिए वो कैसे लोन प्रोवाइड करते हैं, कैसे 10-12 लोग मिलके ग्रुप्स एस्टैब्लिश करते हैं, उसमें क्या रहता है, वो दे पूल इन देयर इन्वेस्टमेंट. ओके, तो वो अपनी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स कैसे, जो सेविंग्स रहती है ना बेटा, वो आपस में पूल कर लेते हैं. और जब भी किसी मेंबर को उसमें से जरूरत रहती है तो वो उसमें से लोन प्रोवाइड किया जाता है. ठीक है, तो उससे क्या होता है, इट बेसिकली बिकम वेरी इजी टू गो. तो अभी कैसे रहता है, छोटे छोटे सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप वुमेन्स के हैं, तो उसमें क्या रहता है, वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप एंड ये सब के लिए लोन प्रोवाइड किए जाते हैं. तो दीज बैंक्स what they do, NABARD what do, they help the self help group through its bank linkage program. मतलब वो लिंक बनते हैं वो सेल्फ हेल्प ग्रुप को उन लोगों से जोड़ने के लिए जिनको वहां से लोन मिल सकता है. तो दे एक्ट एज अ लिंक बिटवीन देम. इट नॉट ओनली मॉनिटर क्लाइंट बैंक बट ऑल्सो वॉचेस ऑल ओवर प्रोजेक्ट विच आर अंडर रीफाइनेंस थ्रू इट. तो सभी के सभी कैसे है, जब भी लोन प्रोवाइड किया उसके बाद उसकी ग्रोथ भी वो चेक करते हैं. सो दिस इज नोन एज द वेरियस फंक्शन. नाउ कमिंग ऑन टू द वेरियस फंक्शंस ऑफ NABARD. जस्ट अ सेकेंड. There are various, you can say, the 4 functions that NABARD perform. The first one is the credit function. That is, they provide credit facilities in the rural banks. Okay, rural areas में वो credit के facilities provide करते हैं. Credit flow क्या है rural areas में वो check करते हैं. Then is the finance function. They provide you with the various types of the loans. किसी को भी loan चाहिए, एक छोटी industry को rural sector में, they provide with that. Then is a supervisory function that the bank performs supervision over the banks. ठीक है, अभी जिसको भी loan provide किया उस पे check भी रखते हैं. Then is the development bank. They basically help other rural banks in preparing their actions, and it also help the farm and the non-farm sector. Obviously, it will lead to the growth of that. So this is the various types of the banks. You can say the specialized bank. Then the next that is there is the exchange bank. So the commercial bank finance the internal trade of the country. The exchange bank finance its foreign trade. Obviously, if you are working for something that is working within India, okay, अगर आपको आज के टाइम में बेटा कोई लोन चाहिए अपनी इंडस्ट्री के लिए, you can go to any bank, either it is a SBI, either it is a Yes Bank, HDFC, any bank you can go for that. But if you are looking up for something, okay, you are into the import and export bank, so what they are various provided with the exchange bank, which give you, like they provide you with a facility, क्या रहेगा, to supply for finance for import and export, and to provide you, like they give you a facility of discounting of the bill, and they help you like whatsoever in way in they can help you in the foreign exchange. So there are various types of the bank there are. Okay, so these are the banks which take care of export and import sector only. So these are the exchange bank which take into consideration. Then is the Mudra Bank. So the Mudra is very important, okay, because this is a recent one which has come into existence. Okay, so the Mudra means micro unit development and refinance agency. It was incorporated as a non-banking financial company in order to fund the unfunded. Okay, ये establish किया गया था बेटा कैसे non-banking financial company की तरह, इनके इसलिए to bring such enterprise into the formal financial system and support development of micro enterprise sectors. उसके लिए इसको establish किया था ताकि हमारे micro enterprise sectors के लिए हम की growth के लिए. ठीक है, ये कब ये launch हुआ था बेटा, scheme कब launch हुआ था 2015 में. Okay, it was launched by whom? It was launched by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So the main purpose you can was set up by Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana scheme. It will provide its service to small entrepreneur outside the service area of regular banks. जो बैंक के regular area में नहीं आते बेटा, उस वो सब इसके अंडर आते थे. ठीक है, those eligible to borrow from Mudra Bank are कौन-कौन थे? Shopkeeper, fruit and vegetable vendor, आर्टिशंस. ये कैसे है? ये किसी बैंक की कैटेगरी में नहीं आते, रूरल बैंक्स के ये सब में, तो इसीलिए मुद्रा की स्कीम्स में आते थे. अभी मुद्रा ने क्या किया? मुद्रा बैंक्स आर regulate the lender and borrower of microfinance and bring stability to the microfinance system through regulation and inclusive participation. Like these are being provided to those sectors which are not covered under in any other banks, so they provide them facilities. So it basically allows small borrowers to from all financial institution, public sector bank, ये वो किसी से भी वो कर सकते थे. ठीक है, so basically they provide you like the scheme where loans are given to the non-farm income group. उनके लिए कितना लोन बेटा? Whose credit limit is less than 10 lakh are being provided loan under the Mudra schemes. ठीक है, जिसको भी 10 लाख से कम का बेटा लोन चाहिए रहता था वो इस बैंक्स के अंडर आते थे. It extend finance and credit support to microfinance institution that lend money to small business, retailers, self-help group and individual. ये सब इसमें आते थे जिनकी credit needs कितनी थी? 10 लाख रुपए से कम रहती थी. Register all small sector and introduce a system of performance rating and accreditation for the first time. तो accreditation के basis पे या rating के basis पे बेटा loan provide किए जाते. ठीक है, then is to develop the standard convents that will form the backbone of the last mile business in the future. So obviously it will lead to the income generation for the small sectors also. तो अभी इसके लिए ये provide किए जाते थे. तो मेजर प्रोडक्ट ऑफरिंग क्या रहती थी? 3 तरह की वो थी बेटा स्कीम्स जो 3 कैटेगरी में आती थी, शिशु, किशोर एंड तरुण. शिशु will cover the loans which is up to the limit of 50,000 only. Then come किशोर 50 से 5 lakh. More than 5 and less than 10 lakh come under the scheme of the तरुण. Okay. अभी गवर्नमेंट क्या इंश्योर करती थी? गवर्नमेंट इंश्योर करती थी that 60% of the funds under this scheme would follow to the शिशु कैटेगरी and the rest to the किशोर एंड तरुण कैटेगरी. जो 60% बेटा फंड्स थे वो इंश्योर करते थे कि वो किस में आए? शिशु कैटेगरी में, और बाकी जो थे किशोर एंड तरुण कैटेगरी में. और इस स्कीम में गवर्नमेंट क्या इंश्योर करती थी कि क्रेडिट फ्लो जो होता था स्मॉल सेक्टर इंडस्ट्री सेक्टर के आर गुड फिट टू रीच आउट टू देम. ठीक है, all those which are in the category of this will come under those. Okay, अभी मुद्रा में बेटा एक और रहता था मुद्रा कार्ड जिसको बोलते हैं मुद्रा डेबिट कार्ड. So they are like the same debit card like we people are using. So it is an basically an innovative product which provide working capital facility as a cash credit arrangement. जब भी हमें कैश क्रेडिट की अरेंजमेंट करनी रहती थी तो हम मुद्रा कार्ड के थ्रू से ले सकते थे. तो मुद्रा कार्ड क्या प्रोवाइड करता था? आपको लोन की फैसिलिटी ताकि आप वर्किंग कैपिटल रिक्वायरमेंट फुलफिल करो. So the what the borrower do, they can make use of mudra card in multiple withdrawal and credit so as to manage the working capital limit. ठीक है, यूजिंग दिस कार्ड पीपल क्या कर सकते थे? ये कैन यूज various these types of the cards through the ATMs and all that. Okay, so they provide with the these types of the facilities, that is the Mudra card. So the last one that is for the specialized bank is the development bank. So the development banks is like the institution which their main goal is to finance the primary need of the society. Primary need is like they want a proper development of the sector. So what? So they provide you the various types of funding in the growth and development of social and economic sector. इसमें कौन से आते थे बेटा? अभी क्या है, अभी हर सोसाइटी में कैसे रहता है, रीजन टू रीजन चेंजेस रहती हैं, ठीक है। अभी किसी का कहाँ पे एग्रीकल्चर की ग्रोथ ज्यादा है, कहीं पे इंडस्ट्री की ज्यादा है, तो टेक केयर ऑफ दैट देयर आर वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ द डेवलपमेंट बैंक्स व्हिच आर बीइंग, सो द लॉन्ग टर्म रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ बिजनेस आर प्रोवाइडेड बाय इंडस्ट्रियल बैंक एंड वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ द इंस्टीट्यूशंस। कैसे, अभी क्या रहता था, इंडस्ट्रियल फाइनेंस, IFC, ICIC, IDBI, ये सब किस में आते हैं बेटा? डेवलपमेंट बैंक्स के अंडर आते हैं, जो आपको लॉन्ग टर्म लैंडिंग इंस्टीट्यूशंस की तरह डेवलप किए जाते हैं, ठीक है। लॉन्ग टर्म लोन्स के लिए ये एस्टैब्लिश होते हैं। सो व्हाट वर द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ द डेवलपमेंट बैंक्स? The main objective was to promote the industrial growth. अभी IDBI और ये सब क्या था, ये इंडस्ट्री डेवलप करने के लिए तो बेटा एस्टैब्लिश किए गए थे। And whenever this will happen, what will they to develop the backward areas? See, whenever an industry grow, it will lead to the income generation as well as employment generation. तो उससे क्या होता है, जो backward areas जहाँ पे पहले सिर्फ और सिर्फ थोड़ा ही कुछ employment generation था, तो वो अभी क्या होता है, वो areas भी develop होते हैं। So obviously it will lead to the development of the backward area. Then to create more employment, obviously, then to generate more export and encourage import. Whenever the industry will grow, so it will lead to the import and export also, because क्या रहेगा, अभी ग्रोथ होती है तो फिर कैसे रहता है, अगर हमारे पास सरप्लस रहता है तो then we find out, okay, what are the various markets we can club up and where we can go and purchase and sell our products. So that will it lead to the, you can say, the export and import substitution. To encourage modernization and improvement in the technology, whenever the industry grows, so the more and more emphasis is being given on the technology development. So these banks take care of that technology needs and provide the loan accordingly. Okay, then to revive the sick units. So the sick units are like those units which are not able to generate income for further. So it helps to revive them. It provide them with the last time भी कैसे रहता है, उनको थोड़े लोन प्रोवाइड किए जाते हैं, so that they can revive their industry, so that they can come up with the new things and they can recover those bad debts or everything. To improve the management of large scale industry by providing training. So they also provide you with the various facility for training if it is being required by the person. So the development bank in India are classified into basically 4 sectors. The first one is the industrial development bank. इसमें क्या आते हैं बेटा, आपके IFC, SIDBI, ये सब इसमें आते हैं। फिर है एग्रीकल्चर, जो एग्रीकल्चर नीड्स के लिए आता है, उसमें आता है बेटा आपका NABARD। एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट के अंडर आएगा आपका एक्सिम बैंक, एंड द हाउसिंग डेवलपमेंट जिसमें आता है नेशनल हाउसिंग बैंक. सो दिस इज द वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ द डेवलपमेंट बैंक व्हिच आर बीइंग एस्टैब्लिश्ड फॉर सम स्पेसिफिक पर्पसेस. ओके, देन इज द इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग. इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग क्या होता है बेटा? सी, इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग इज दैट डिवीजन ऑफ अ बैंक जिसके लिए क्या रहता है बेटा, जो कमर्शियल बैंक के अलावा बहुत सारे फंक्शंस होते हैं जो बैंक टेक केयर करता है, ठीक है, दैट बैंक्स. ओके, तो उसके लिए वो प्रोवाइड करता है क्या, जैसे आपको क्या रहेगा, अंडर राइटिंग, मर्जर एंड एक्विजिशन, ये सब फैसिलिटीज जो प्रोवाइड करता है, दिस इज द फंक्शन ऑफ द इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग. ठीक है, अंडर राइटिंग क्या रहेगा, कैपिटल रेजिंग एंड अंडर राइटिंग ग्रुप्स वर्क बिटवीन द इन्वेस्टर एंड कंपनी. They want to raise fund. This function serve the primary market, that is you can say establishing the new capital. So ye function are being taken care by the investment banking. Then is merger and acquisition. तो उसमें वो क्या करते हैं बेटा, रोल प्रोवाइड करते हैं, एडवाइजरी रोल बायर और सेलर को, कि मर्जर एंड एक्विजिशन के लिए उसको क्या चाहिए, ठीक है, कितनी मतलब उसके लिए क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है. दे प्रोवाइड यू विद द एडवाइसेस, ओके, व्हाट शुड बी योर प्रोसीजर, हाउ यू कैन गो फर्दर. Then is sales and trading. So they provide you with the buying and selling of securities. अभी कैसे रहता है, बैंक आपके बिहाफ पे बहुत सारे ये functions perform करता है. So these are the function of the investment banking. So that you can say investment banking is that division of a bank that serves government and institution by providing, कौन सी facilities provide करता है, underwriting, merger and acquisition, advisory. They act as an intermediary between investor who want to invest and the fund persons who want to raise the funds. So they act as a main role play in the capital growth. Then is the equity research, so that they, you can say the equity research group, ठीक है, उसमें क्या रहता है बेटा उनका, they help investor make investment decision, कौन से stock में उनको invest करना चाहिए. So these are the various roles which are being played by the okay. Then the last one is the asset management. So the asset management here means that the managing investment for a wide range of investors, including institution and individual, across a wide range of investment styles. So these are the various functions which are being performed by the investment banking. Okay, just a second. Okay, then is the wholesale banking. See, there are two type of a banking which we already heard of. One is the wholesale banking and the one is the, you can say is the, एक हम wholesale banking रहता है और एक बेटा हमारा रहता है retail banking, ठीक है. अभी wholesale banking में क्या रहता है, it refers to, you can say, the financial practice of lending and borrowing between two large institutions, ठीक है. So इसमें क्या रहता है, दो major institutions रहते हैं. So banking are considered as wholesale because they are reserved only for government agency, pension fund, corporations with strong financial and institutions, ठीक है. अभी इसके लिए क्या रहेगा, like these services are made up of, इसमें क्या क्या सर्विसेज आप प्रोवाइड करोगे, कैश मैनेजमेंट, इक्विपमेंट फाइनेंसिंग, लोन्स. So they take place in the, like the, come into the consideration of the wholesale banking. I will take this wholesale banking as the retail banking in my next lecture. So today I want to explain, like these are the types of the bank which I have covered, okay, for the NABARD and all that. So just a second. Yeah. After this, what we have to do is, yeah, after this, wholesale banking and retail banking, we will finalize our investment banking. I have covered like what is an investment banking. Like the main purpose of investment banking is the creation of the capital, ठीक है. investment banking का बेटा main function क्या था, creation of capital था, ठीक है. उसके अंडर हम लोग ये consider करेंगे. Then investment banking, you can also consider it as a banking division which is engaged in the corporation of capital. कैसे रहेगा, किसके लिए हेल्पफुल रहेंगे, कॉर्पोरेट्स के लिए, गवर्नमेंट के लिए और अदर एंटिटीज के लिए. अभी ये देखो यहाँ पे था, हाँ ये वाला इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग के लिए. तो इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग डज नॉट एक्सेप्ट डिपॉजिट, ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, they don't accept any sort of a deposit. So they are like a deal makers between two major entities, ठीक है. उन दोनों के बीच में एक्ट करता है. अभी क्या करता है, अंडरराइटिंग सर्विसेज, मर्जर एक्विजिशन, एड, ये सब प्रोवाइड करता है. दैट इज द मेन फंक्शन ऑफ द इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग, ठीक है. सो इट, यू कैन टेक इट एज अ बैंकिंग डिविजन. ये बैंकिंग का एक डिवीजन जो ये एक्टिविटी टेकन करता है इज नोन एज द इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग. आई वांट ऑल ऑफ यू to read about like what is an investment banking. So these are the things which are new into the terms, investment banking, mudra, these are the new terms. Okay, so investment banking का main functions क्या रहते हैं वो मैंने आपको बताया, underwriting, merger and advertisement, merger and acquisitions के लिए आपको advisory services provide करना, और उसके बाद बहुत सारी ancillary services भी देता है. कैसे, market matching, like derivatives and equity market में. So investment banking is not as such a different banking. It is a, that you can say एक ऐसा banking division जो क्या करता है, ये functions take off करता है, ठीक है. तो that is known as the investment banking. तो इसमें क्या रहेगा, investment क्या करेगा, आपको ये सब facilities provide करता है. So these are basically, you can say that they act as a link between two main entities, ठीक है. अभी दो मेन एंटिटीज को ये फंक्शन देगा तो अभी उसके लिए क्या करता है, दे चार्ज अ कमीशन फॉर दिस, दे आर नोन एज द इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग. So you need to read about this. Then I have told you about the development banking. Now after this we are being left with the wholesale banking and retail banking, and the last topic will be our non-banking financial company. Any one of you know what is a non-banking financial company? What is a non-banking financial company? Okay, in my next lecture, I'll take this. So I want all of you to have a understanding of like what is the main non-banking financial company होता क्या है, at least इतना पढ़ के आना, ठीक है?
Ma'am,
Yeah,
it's include NGO,
it include NGO, no बच्चे, they are like
but it is
basically, हाँ क्या बेटा?
non-banking financial means private sector.
बेटा ये वो कंपनी रहती है या आप ये कह सकते हो जिसका प्रिंसिपल बिजनेस होता है रिसीव करना डिपॉजिट अंडर एनी स्कीम, ठीक है, इन वन लम्प सम, ठीक है, तो उसके लिए एस्टैब्लिश किया जाता है। तो ये आर सिमिलर टू फंक्शन ऑफ बैंक, बैंक की तरह ही वो परफॉर्म करते हैं फंक्शन, बट उसमें एक ही फंक्शन वो रहता है कि विड्रॉल ऑफ मनी फ्रॉम देयर अकाउंट इज नॉट अलाउड टू डिपॉजिटर्स, जो उसमें फंड्स अलाउ करते हैं। आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू व्हाट इज दिस, ओके? So, okay, we will meet in our next lecture and I'll complete this, and after that we will be left with only one unit, that is 50 unit. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.